Well, our manager dropped in this week, and I must say things got a bit, shall we say, ominous. But before I go into that, let me tell you guys about some more weird shit that went down this week. It all started with the bathroom. I was in there doing, well, my business and surfing the net when I suddenly heard something. At first I thought I was just imagining it, but then I heard it again. It was a soft giggle. I, of course, finished up and pulled up my pants. I walked around the small bathroom trying to locate where the giggle was coming from, and after a brief moment I was able to locate it. It was coming out of the drain. I got down and put my ear to the drain, and I could hear the giggle a lot better now. It sounded like a kid's giggle, specifically a little girl's. I looked down the drain, but all I could see was blackness. I pulled out my phone, turned on its light, and I shined it down to get a better look. I could see something, but I couldn't quite make it out, until it moved. Then an eye opened and looked up at me. "Hi," it whispered. No thank you out of that bathroom, and I don't care how friendly that drain eyeball seemed to be. I was not using that bathroom again. I just hope it can't travel through the drains. That's all I fucking need. Now, remember back in my first post when I mentioned the devices we call turtles that were used for theft prevention, and how a couple of them went off for no reason? Well, about 4 days ago, around 3 a.m. in the morning, every single one of them started chiming at exactly the same moment. And as they chimed, the music over the intercoms, top 40 shit, stopped playing and was replaced by a deep, croaking voice speaking a language that none of us could even come close to understanding, or even guessing what it was. I mean, it literally sounded completely inhuman. The turtles chimed and the voice spoke, for a lack of a better term, for about a minute, and as quickly as they started, they all just stopped. Not much else happened for the rest of the night, but it definitely threw us off our groove. This next thing actually made me smile a bit when I saw it. I was working in plumbing, and you guys know how I feel about plumbing. Only thing worse is nails, nuts and bolts. Well, I was putting away some PVC piping elbow joints when a box fell behind me and nearly made me jump out of my shoes. I looked at it confused, then looked upwards. What I saw was something I didn't think I would ever see. Now you know that bird I talked about last time? Well, it was going crazy, squawking, flapping and just making all kinds of noises due to the fact that Danny was trying to attack it. They were all over the fucking place. They were like 2 WWE wrestlers back in the early 2000s, when that shit was actually good. The bird would swoop in to try to bite or web Danny, while Danny would punch the ever-loving shit out of it whenever the bird got close. "Hey Danny!" I yelled. Danny stopped and looked down at me. I could see annoyance on his rotund little face. "Get that fucker," I said as I gave him a thumbs up. Danny promptly flipped me off and bolted after that rapidly escaping bird. Well, you might not like me, but I still hate the stupid bird more than Danny. At least Danny never sucked dry another bird. I think that I've actually started to like the little asshole, in fact. Yes, he's a shitload of trouble and causes no end of mischief, but there was just something about the bored little bastard that I can't help but like. I don't know, I guess he grows on you, much like a fungus. He reminds me of a pug. You know what a pug is, right? Those little inbred abominations that are probably one of the ugliest, most useless dogs on the face of the earth, but it's those reasons that people love them. It's where the term "so ugly it's cute" comes from. Now that I think about it, animals are the only ones that term equates to. You'll never hear that term used for a person, or, hell, even a baby. And yes, there are ugly babies out there. We all know it, and we've all seen them. There's always that couple, you know, that if they bred, they would produce the human version of a pug, and then they actually do breed, and you're forced to tell them that their little Sid, the sloth, is just so adorable, because you want to be a nice person and not hurt their feelings. But in your head, all you can think about is that you hope this kid develops one hell of a personality. Could you actually imagine someone looking at an ugly baby and saying, "Aw, he's so ugly that he's cute"? I'll tell you one thing, I want to be there when that bomb drops, just so I can see the aftermath. Okay, enough rambling. The arm is back, or should I say arms, and I mean those fuckers came back with a vengeance. It's gotten crazy in the Isles because just this week alone, at least 18 of them have been spotted and multiples at one time. John almost got grabbed by one. Well, he actually did get grabbed by one, but luckily it just grabbed his shoe, which slipped off when the arm retracted back under the shelf. Almost gave John a heart attack. And I don't blame him none. Mike said he's never seen anything like this. There's only been one only ever show up a few times a month. I can tell that Mike is getting nervous, and that man never gets nervous. He's been here longer than any of us, and has pretty much seen it all. But the last few weeks I've heard him say he's never seen anything like what's been happening, more than I really care to count, and that makes me very nervous. Alright now, let me tell you about the district manager dropping by. It was the other day and I was over indoors, trying to put, doors away, and trying to locate the correct places for them to go, which was proving incredibly difficult. Because sometime during the day shift decided that it would be a great idea to switch around all the doors, but not the price stickers, so I couldn't find fuck all. It was really starting to piss me off, when a call came over the intercom. It was Steve. "Hey guys," he said, "can everyone come to the garden centre?" Steve never gave an all call over the intercom like that, so I have to say I was a bit curious. I walked out to aisle 31, or the middle aisle I should say, and headed to the garden centre. I bumped into John as he came out from lighting. "What's going on?" he asked me. "What do you get when you cross an elephant with a rhino?" I asked him. He looked at me slightly confused. "What?" he asked. "Elephino," I told him. "Let's just see what he wants." As we approached the sliding doors, we could see Steve standing out on the open section of the garden centre. "Hey," said John, "it's snowing." That it was, heavily too. We could see it accumulating as we watched. Mike walked up next to us. "Is that lighting, and what the hell is he looking at?" Mike commented. That's when I noticed a few more things. Steve was looking straight up at the snowy night sky, at what looked like green lighting illuminating the garden centre. How did I not notice that before? We slid the doors open and walked out, and as we approached Steve, all of our eyes looked up, and we all came to a stop. "Dear God," whispered John in horrified awe. Above us there was a blizzard roaring unlike anything we've ever seen before. The clouds lit up with dark green lighting, but that really wasn't anything compared to what else there was. Silhouetted within the clouds of the storm, showed only when the lighting flashed, there was something large. No, not large, that's not the right word for it. It was something enormous, so big that it filled every inch of the cloud and lighting covered the sky. It looked like long, slow moving cords or tentacles covering from horizon to horizon. Oh, and when I said roaring, before I meant it, the sky was literally roaring. "John," I said, "call your wife, see if she can see this." John pulled out his phone and called his wife. I knew that she was a night owl and we had a good chance that she might still be up. I myself took out my own phone and pointed up towards the sky to see if I could get a video of the madness that we were witnessing, and of course all I could see on my camera was falling snow. John hung up his phone. "Well?" asked Steve. "She can't see anything," John said as he tucked his phone back into his pocket. "Well, that can't be good," someone else said. We all jumped a foot at the new voice behind us. We spun around to see Todd, our manager, looking up with his hands behind his back. "Todd," Mike said, "when did you get here?" Todd looked away from the sky and to Mike. "Just now. Can I speak to you, Mike?" "Of course," Mike said. Todd turned to us. "All right, everyone," he said. "I know it's weird, but I need everyone to get back to work for now." "But," I said, pointing up, "the sky monster?" "Yes, yes," Tom said, waving me away. "I'm well aware. Just please go back to what you were doing. I'll talk to you all in a moment." We all looked up once more, then started in. "Wait," Todd said. "Stay away from Tool World. There was something squishy over there." Well, I can give a guess what or who that was. So we all headed in and I went back to try to finish doors. It wasn't very long though before Todd showed up. "Can I speak to you?" "You know, I just realised that in all my posts, I have never told you guys my name. It's probably for the best, to be honest, so I'll use Trent for now." "Can I speak to you, Trent?" Todd asked. I pulled my gloves off. "Sure," I said. "You've seen it, haven't you?" You've got to narrow that down a bit, boss man. The button? Oh, I said. Yeah, I've seen it. And you haven't pressed it? Why would I? Todd shrugged. Curiosity? I'm not that curious. Todd sighs and rubs the bridge of his nose. Listen, the store has chosen you. Chosen me? Yes, and you need to press that button. Why? Because if you don't, then things are going to keep escalating until what? Until they don't stop, and then it'll be too late. Too late for what? Todd just looked at me with a sad face. Well, that's up to you. Press the button, Trent, and do the right thing. Todd turns and walks away. Well, what the actual fuck, Todd? Do the right thing? Last time I checked, this wasn't a Spike Lee joint. What am I supposed to do with that? The store has chosen me. For what? Why? Why me? Okay, this job has just gotten a lot worse and a whole lot more intense. I have absolutely no idea what I should do, and if anyone has any suggestions, I am more than open and willing to hear them. So I guess until I can figure stuff out, everyone tried to have a Lowe's safe day.